interviewing. You know, that's what they doing. Stick around. It's about to get all roomy up in here. Remote Ruby starts now.
Andrew Mason.
Chris Oliver.
What is up, dude?
I had a good week this week. Last week I had a terrible mood. This week I'm in a great mood, so...
What's contributing to the success of this week?
Well, I haven't really pinned that down yet, okay? Because number one...
It's the sabbatical on Monday, isn't it?
I have a sabbatical starting on Monday. Number two, I'm just feeling good.
Technically, it starts today at 5 p.m., right? Technically.
Yeah, today I've been like wrapping up things that I'm assigned to and moving tickets out.
Just reassigning them to other people, yeah.
Basically, like all the stuff that I'm in charge of DX at Podia, so all the stuff that I wanted to, I was going to get to that. I just moved into actual tickets for other people to work on while I'm away.
Yeah, you select all the tickets, you change the due date to 2026.
Yeah.
And then assign it to somebody else.
Absolutely.
I would vote assigning them all to Jason because he abandoned us on the podcast. So that seems fair, right?
And he didn't even show up for my last day.
To somebody else.
He didn't even say bye. I'm so mad at him right now.
Jeez.
I know, right? Be your own people. The other thing,
what he did to us.
The other thing that was good about this week is that I got to play the Battlefield 6 beta, and I'm enjoying it.
I heard things about it. I think I watched a Donkey video about it. You've seen his videos at all?
That name sounds very familiar, but not recently.
You probably recognize his style of video. Just kind of reviews video games and stuff in a fairly hilarious way.
Then I've probably definitely seen it because that's the type of content I watch on YouTube.
Yeah, it's great. Are they doing any other open betas or?
They're doing 2 weekends. So it was last weekend and it's this weekend. And it actually opened up yesterday. So it's live right now until Sunday.
Nice. Can anybody join that?
You just have to download it.
Download what? 100 gigs?
I was surprised about this because, and maybe I'm just out of touch because Call of Duty sometimes will install so much stuff that it will literally put me over my internet limit, which I never even remotely get to the download limit.
First of all,
plan.
It's sad you have a download limit on your internet.
But it's so high and I never ever reach it. So it's economically, I just don't need to pay for this, right? Because I don't have multiple streaming and I don't have...
Then don't they just not need to put a limit on it if you're not going to be
True. Well, it's Cox, dude. I want to switch to Google Fiber because they're laying that in, but at the same time, I really detest Google. But at the same time, I might detest Cox slightly bit more.
How wild is it that you start a company for search and just realize that the path forward to growth is actually laying fiber and getting more people connected at higher speeds? That means more search. And more ads.
More ads, dude. Oh.
Yeah.
I might have said this. I was trying to remove some subscriptions and I was like, dude, YouTube Premium is expensive. I was like, surely I can just go without YouTube Premium. And I lasted 3 days and I was like, if I still want to watch YouTube, I cannot. Dude, so many ads. I had no idea it was like that.
So many ads. Yeah,
I went straight back.
Oh, I guess that's the family plan. I'm on YouTube Premium too, and YouTube's probably my main content thing of choice. We use Netflix and Disney Plus for Jackson, and we use YouTube too. It's funny because we were watching Looney Tunes on YouTube, and then it'll be on my phone, which has YouTube Premium, and then Brooke will put it on her phone, and then he freaks out. He's like, "It's not working." Because there's ads, and he's never seen an ad before in his life like that.
Good for him, dude. Shout out to you for protecting that child. These ads are, oh, God. I do so much to prevent myself from having to see ads. So all of a sudden, when I was like, wait, is this what it's like out there? There's no way.
For a while, I ran Pi-hole in the Raspberry Pi, and that was okay. But sometimes things would get around it. YouTube's constantly changing their stuff on purpose. It also tended to block legitimate things a little bit too often, and that was super annoying. You would end up just getting a whatever, access denied kind of thing. This has been a long time ago, so I don't remember if I had not configured something, but there wasn't a way to just like easily skip it and be like, okay, yes, I get it, but like I want to go through, at least how I had it set up. It would be nice to maybe go back to something like that, but it was such a pain.
And I wanted to do Pi-hole, and then I've heard so many people say that. I have so many like connections like coming in from like, I don't want to have to deal with that.
Yeah, I can't remember the option on my Ubiquiti router. When you build a house, like you're going to run Ethernet everywhere. Probably should have run some fiber, but you run all that and then you might as well just get some decent equipment and it's ready to go. Don't have to do any like mesh routers or anything. All wired access points. I can upgrade this baby to Wi-Fi 7, but they apparently like run super duper hot and I don't really need it. I don't have anything to take advantage of that yet, really. So
you want to hear about my Ethernet situation, right? Because I'm in a condo. So I'm in my office right now, and the router is in my living room under my TV. And so I have a Ethernet cable that runs under my desk, up the wall, and I have it like literally thumbtacked and like clipped. It's a redneck engineering solution. It goes all the way up the wall, all the way into the living room, down into the router.
Yeah,
there's my home networking solution right there, dude. Just run a long Ethernet cord.
Here's your next $1 billion idea, okay? Listen to this. We make drop ceilings that look like regular drywall ceilings. Okay. So then you can run it up the wall through the ceiling and then down to wherever, but like it's actually accessible and easy to. We can make it like an inch thick. It doesn't even need to be like 1.5 feet, you know, for running commercial stuff for your basement. You just do a 1-inch super thin drop ceiling. Bam. You know what we could do too? We could also sell like baseboards and like door trim that has a slot
baseboard's
cut out
not bad at all.
Imagine that. You have a slot routed in the back. Then you could just poke it through, up and around, boom. Because I also have Ethernet running around my office because I have like one drop in the ceiling for the access point and then one here by my desk. Let's see, that may be it. I can't remember. But then it's like, okay, where it comes out at my desk, then I got a little switch. And then I happen to have like a few computers over in the other corner. So then that also has another little switch there and whatever. But one thing I don't know, I haven't bought 10 gig switch yet, but I have been thinking about trying that out and seeing if I can get 10 gig. At least in my office, I can do transfers really fast. Be nice eventually whenever Ubiquiti gets off there. They've been lazy, it seems like, in pushing 2.5 gig, 5 gig networking and whatever. Like a lot of the stuff is still kind of 1 gig. There's a lot more 10 gig stuff now, but it'd be sick. I think our ISP now offers 2 gig fiber, but not to our address or whatever. But I'm like, counting the days. Guys, hurry up.
Do they know you're Mr. Go-Rails? Like, what's going on? Send
do they not see all the video uploads that I do all the time? Yeah. So
that's probably why they're not going to run it. Like, this dude's just going to keep jacking up our network with these uploads.
Right. They're like, this guy. Did that screw up our recording last week? Because our neighbors are getting a pool. And I can't remember what day it was out. No, they fixed it right before.
Oh, yeah, right before. Yeah. Yes, that they broke your power line outside.
Yeah, your fiber line out there.
Your fiber line. Yeah. You were hot and bothered about that.
I would have been luckily, too. It's all smooth now, but man, what do? Jackson got home from school and was like able to be entertained for a while, but when he gets tired, he wants to watch veg out a little bit before he goes to bed. And he was just like, I don't know what to do with my hands. It's just what happens, but yeah, thank goodness. When production breaks, you want to quickly understand and fix it, not sift through logs for the next hour. That's where Honeybadger comes in. Honeybadger notifies you of errors and outages and puts performance in context to help you fix the issue faster. Learn more at honeybadger.io. That's www.honeybadger.io.
Speaking of last week, I mentioned that I was working on the raise on safe redirect change.
Yes.
And I probably mentioned it because it was the only thing on my mind. I was like, I just know for a fact that somewhere out there, I thought I went through all of them. I was like, I went through it with a fine tooth comb. Like I've got tests, but still, I deployed that sucker and had like 5 or 6 unsafe redirects in production that had to get fixed. One of them needed to be fixed quickly. And I was like, I don't know. Like, I thought I did this.
Yeah.
One of them was like, I swear I did this one. But I mean, we have a lot of redirecting. So,
yeah, I was going to say, like, it's not a thing you could just search and replace, right? There are many, many, many redirects that are not external. So it's not like a quick thing. And also, like, searching for that, sometimes you're going to redirect to like at course, or you're going to be like course path or whatever. Like, there's a lot of different variations of it. And then also maybe like you have a redirect or back to, or I guess those wouldn't do external probably. But
but here's the thing, like we have custom domains. So like if you want to have a site on Podia, like you can get it on your own custom domain. When you use custom domains, you get used to the concept of like passing the host in when you're doing these, when you're creating path URLs. And these weren't, the unsafe redirect error raised this, but it wasn't because I forgot to allow other hosts, but just so happened there was like 1 or 2 spots where we weren't passing the host in. So it was redirecting to our site and then back to the custom domain. It's like, okay, I understand now why it's unsafe redirect, because it shouldn't be doing that. It should be going straight there. And we just need to add host here. So
yeah, normally, I mean, I guess if you're using paths, let's see, I was just trying to think, like normally doesn't it use the request host if you use a URL option? So it's on localhost or LVHme or whatever, your local .dev or something. But yeah, there are definitely times, especially around like images with active storage or whatever. Because the annoying thing that drove me mad was if you take like a blob and say .url, it'll happily spit out a URL, but not what you expect. It's just a path. It's not an actual URL. And it is confusing because if they did have a method called path, that could be like the path on S3. Is it the full S3 URL or the bucket path, the relative thing inside of it? Or is it your Rails path or whatever? Like definitely confusing stuff. And of course, the default URL options or whatever that thing is where you can define it all over many different ways. And
yeah,
I wonder if you could set that in your controller with a before action or something so that the request comes through on a customer subdomain. We could set that everywhere or whatever. That would be nice. But mailers and whatever else probably have some additional things to deal with. That's one place of Rails that I've always felt a little, I wish there was just a clear path to do that. Because like the example for setting like a time zone for a request is around this request, let's set time zone and then reset it afterwards. Like it would be cool if you could have a round action or something that was kind of the same and it would do it for everything. But I know it's got complex.
A ticket related to something with time zones where it's like, it shows it in the right locale here, but for some reason, when this action takes place, it comes back and it's not in the right locale. And I was like, okay, well, that means that somewhere we need to wrap something in this to make sure that works. But yeah, the same thing with time zones. It's like, you got to be real careful and specific, especially when you're working with like a global audience, which we very much are. You want the date picker to show in their time zone and you want it to like have the correct labels and stuff. It's a tricky problem.
It really is. What else you been up to?
I've been cooking on this idea, right? So you know how when you're using turbo streams, you have to create a bunch more controllers and they might just be executing like a small turbo stream or maybe a few streams, but the only purpose is for them to like execute a turbo stream.
Yeah. Something like upvote or something where you're like, create the upvote, but then you need to just replace that part of the page. Right. Something.
And the same thing with the turbo frame text of like the only purpose of this control. Like I'll give you an example. We do this a lot where you click into like a drop down on like an action menu button and it shows like delete. So you click delete, we go to the server, replace the drop down frame with the confirm delete pop over. That's like, are you sure you want to delete this?
Yeah.
That's just a show action, and a turbo frame. And the more and more like I create these, I'm like, it would be really nice if there was some sort of convention for naming these controllers whose specific purpose is to only return like a piece of the page or to execute turbo streams. And that's it.
Jeremy Smith had posted something similar of how he namespaces his controllers and other things, where he was talking about like, yeah, you probably have some concepts like webhooks or whatever. You could also just name space with a name that's kind of like turbo stream responses or whatever, you know, and like that's a specialized thing on like its purpose or whatever. And I thought that was interesting.
That is interesting, but I want to keep that code as close as possible, if that makes sense. I feel like the distance between you and that code just creates more and more friction.
Well, and even in that case, it almost feels like making a request to the server is almost unnecessary, where like you could have that hidden on the page and then just trigger visibility of it or something, which gets me to the like, did you look at that invokers? We talked about this last week, maybe the invokers stuff. Having the delete button actually trigger a modal that's already on the page without any JavaScript, no stimulus, and having that all wired up.
The modals are out, dude.
Would be slick.
It's all popovers. Have you seen the new iOS beta? Dude, it's all popovers, drop down popovers. And I'm like, dude, my designer must be like, dude, I thought of this before, because we've been slowly but surely like switching to a much more like popover based inline thing than using modals. The iOS beta, dude, it's all that. I'm like, dude, they copied my boy's whole flow.
I hate modals because it's stuff like that where you're like, I want to delete something, but if you put up a modal that lays over top of everything, then I lose context completely. You blur the background or you darken it or whatever, and like the box itself is fairly large, so I can't even see where I'm at anymore. I would rather you click the delete button and it pops up a little tooltip popover thing, you know, and then is like, hey, are you super sure? And you click that to do the actual delete. That kind of stuff feels way more smooth, and that can be less intrusive to, you're already looking at that delete section of the settings or whatever, the admin area. It feels natural to do more of that stuff.
Yeah.
So
it also works way better on mobile, because modals just kind of suck on mobile. So if you really want,
they're even worse. They cover up everything.
Exactly. So just by the sheer fact of like that, you get a lot better experience on mobile and desktop by just using popovers. Like we have a really nice like system with popovers where we use Tippy and we have some components built around this, and where we'll render a drop down, and then when you click the delete button, we'll update the drop down to be the confirm delete popover, and then if you hit cancel, it will go back to being the drop down, so being resettable and things like that. So I like that approach a lot more, although now that it's all over my phone, I'm like, I like it. It's just Apple is, I don't know what they're doing. I'm really annoyed about this beta update that I've updated to, because they have like this border thing going on, and I really can't describe it. It's one of those things you have to see. The borders won't be like all the way filled in, or they'll look janky, and then they'll slowly but surely like start to render correctly, and it's bothering the absolute hell out of me, dude.
That sounds awful.
Hi, I'm Adam from JudoScale, and like most of you, I'm never going to be as smart, funny, and good-looking as Andrew and Chris. But hey, at least they let me sponsor their podcast. I'll make it quick. JudoScale is an autoscaler for Heroku, Render, Fly, and AWS. We're a better autoscaler because we track more effective metrics, analyze them more frequently, and give you the controls you need to dial in predictable and reliable scaling. Traffic spikes, request timeouts, backed up job queues, JudoScale has you covered. Head to judoscale.com/remote-ruby to learn more.
I saw a blog post, I think it was Ollie from PageCord, saying he was running the beta, and like some of the liquid glass stuff just looks like a white outline. And
exactly.
Like, really strange.
But the outline isn't correct. That's what's bothering me. It's like, not only does the outline look weird, the outline stands out too, no matter what you do. And also it's not filled in. Like the border radius doesn't look right, or it looks like it's missing width on like the top or the bottom. that is bothering the crap out of me.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll probably wait a little longer. I think it's supposed to release mid-September or something.
Yeah, I wasn't
which
going
I
to
don't know
update,
if
but
that's the next WWDC or whatever.
they've definitely got
'Cause
some interesting new features in it, though.
I was peeping Mac rumors the other day because, there's probably like a month left on the betas for everything. But I guess in one of those recent software updates, they leaked the hardware that they're going to be releasing, as they tend to do, where it's like, here's all the things. And it's like new HomePod Mini, new Apple TV. What I was looking for was the Apple Studio Display 2, which was like in that list. New iPad, new low-cost iPad, Vision Pro with M5 chip, 2025 Apple Watch chip. So I'm excited, but I think it sounds like the Studio Display and the new MacBooks and things are getting delayed from this year to early next year. So I don't know if I can't remember. There was one year they did like a release of stuff in January, maybe. It was like real early, not like March, if I remember right. Sitting here with my two 4K displays every day, waiting patiently, but being sad because that 5K Apple display is always so good. And one of these days I'll be upgraded to it or whatever. But I was like, there's no way I'm spending $1,600 on like the current version of it. I don't know. It was like 9 months or something. I'll end up having to wait for it. It's okay. I don't know if they're going to update the Pro Display XDR, but I'm not spending $5,000 or $6,000 on a monitor. I'm not Adam Levin. I don't do that kind of like design work.
That's so much in this economy.
Yeah, right. Like, it's crazy. I mean, it's a good monitor, but like
I was gonna say, and they last a long time too. Like when I was still living in North Carolina, I had just bought like an Apple Watch like 3 or something, earlier version. And before I left North Carolina, I fell and broke my arm and smashed the top of it a bit. But I kept using it. A few weeks ago, I accidentally forgot to take it off when I went into the pool because it's supposed to be waterproof,
the
right?
Cracked screen.
But the cracked screen, and it finally died on me. And I was like, I just went ahead and upgraded to a new one. But I was looking at the Apple Watch Ultra, and I'm like, I want some of these features, like because I hike. I cannot spend this much money on it. Though.
Right?
The difference in price is so wild.
It's insane. I forget which series Apple Watch I have. Like the only reason that I'm going to upgrade it is going to be that the battery life just doesn't last a full day anymore. This is so stupid that I can't just swap a battery out. It's starting to get slow. The software is like not going to be able to run on it at some point and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I still don't want to spend another $500 or whatever for an Apple Watch, or like the Ultra 2 is like $800. It's nuts.
I got like the cheapest one I could, I think. I like it though. Like now that I can use it in the water, like I can actually, it has like a dives feature, which is pretty cool. And now I get to know how warm my pool is. And I've been steadily watching the temperature increase week by week. We're at a solid 92 degrees in the pool now.
You could convince Framework to make a watch. That's what you should do. A repairable watch.
Yeah.
Then put Omarchi on it.
The sleep tracking is really the only reason I bought a new one. That's the only thing I like consistently like want.
What was it? Pebble got they just had an announcement on their old watch. I remember buying the original Pebble watch back in the day. I'm sure I still have it somewhere in a tub somewhere. That thing was sweet, but it's crazy to see that those are making a comeback. And like e-ink displays can do color now, which is sick.
Yeah, that's so cool.
I think there was something here about like standard features, 30-day battery life. How sick is that?
Yeah, that's wild.
I love the e-paper stuff. Probably the thing that kills the battery the most is just network requests and running radios. That's it. Being able to do the operations on the watch like the Apple Watch can do is like pretty incredible. It can have that good a battery life as it is. the less that your watch does, the better, because then it can last for far, far longer. It's one of those things where I'm like, I don't need 99% of the features on the Apple Watch. Like, I don't use that. Like, I don't even want a notification when like a text message comes in or email or something, because then I'm not present anymore. I'm like, oh, a notification. Is this important? Should I reply to it? And even if it's not important, you already got pulled out of life. And now you're looking at your watch or whatever. And it's like, you're not paying attention to your kids or whatever it is that you're doing, your friends, hanging out, eating dinner with your wife, whatever. Like, I hate it. But there are some things that are like pretty darn convenient. Because what if there's a situation going on where somebody's in the hospital and I do want to get notifications immediately? Okay, then it's pretty awesome.
I just want to know what the walkie-talkie app is on the Apple Watch.
We can walkie-talkie from here to there. This is next episode. We will walkie-talkie a podcast episode, and Paul has to deal with editing the terrible audio.
Dude, I just don't even know what this app does. Like, it says you can talk with your friends on the Apple Watch. I'm like, what
was the cell phone company that was...
That's what I was literally about to bring that up. I was like, I remember when I was younger, dude, all day long, all you'd hear is that freaking like ringtone and some dude pulling up his phone and like saying something into it. Dude, I don't remember what that was, but I have a distinct...
Nextel?
That doesn't sound right.
Nextel network offered a then unique push-to-talk walkie-talkie feature in addition to direct dialed voice calls. But now, like, T-Mobile has push-to-talk, Verizon does.
I guess it was Nextel. That's what I'm seeing too.
That's funny.
I found the picture of what I was thinking of. Is Nextel, but
like one of the phones.
It was yellow and it looked like a walkie-talkie. It was yellow.
Yeah. Because they were like marketing it to like construction workers and people like that or whatever. Like, it's funny. I'm excited. I not launched, but deployed and got everything ready to go yesterday on the new onemonth.com. Took all the code from the Learn Hotwire course and kind of made it multi-course and slapped it up into a new Rails app and then like did a whole bunch of other stuff. And Colin's been recording a 1 month Ruby course. I've already got the project in mind for it, but 1 month Rails is going to make a comeback, but I'm going to wait to record it until after Rails World because I have a feeling that Rails 8.1 or 9 is going to come out. Might be some features I want to use in it. Just trying to make it a little bit evergreen.
Yeah. Try not to have to re-record it after 8.1 comes out.
In literally 3 weeks. Yeah, that would be awful. So my goal is to just have it ready to record. So when I get back home, do all that and get it shipped or whatever. But yeah, I've been hacking on that. You know, it's an interesting thing because like I haven't really ever acquired something like that before. Like, that already has traffic and a customer base or whatever. Like it's got a lot of people who have used it and then are never going to come back or whatever, which makes sense. But I was just like, this is a pretty awesome thing to grab and we'll see what happens with it. I put all of the old courses up there, like WordPress and things I probably won't record a course on. But I put it up there because I was like, let's just collect email addresses. If that actually works out, then like, okay, cool. We will maybe find somebody to do a course for us. That could work. I'm sure there's also like plenty of Rails developers that have done plenty of WordPress work that we could hire or something to put that together. But I was like, let's just keep everything that's there. We'll like add our 2 new courses. And we don't need to like sell the old stuff at all, but like we'll just see what happens and experiment and play around with it. It's cool not starting from 0 technically, but we're like probably 0.25 at this point because it's kind of old and whatever. But it's been really fun as a project on the side just to fiddle with and stuff. Probably need to throw up Cloudflare's turnstile or something around the email form submission because God knows bots love to submit their shady stuff, but it'll be fun. I like have no expectations. I don't expect to sell any licenses to the courses or whatever, but like I do think we could apply a little bit of marketing to it because it's really geared toward complete beginners. Like literally one of the courses is programming for non-programmers, which I'm not probably going to re-record, but it is an interesting time where like you see the tweets that Claude deleted my database with everything in it. And it's like these people are learning to code through AI, but they're not understanding anything that's going on. And it seems like a course to give you a 30-day intro pretty fast, which you could watch the whole thing in a day or two if you wanted to. Like you don't have to spread it out, but it does feel like there's a need for that. That's kind of fresh, that's different take. So I was like, maybe we'll do some marketing around that or whatever. Could be fun.
Yeah.
So,
or like marketing it to like, I don't know, I guess if I had to do that, I would be like, well, who would benefit most from these courses? It'd be like students who are new in computer science or new in like programming courses and like go to community colleges or high schools and things like that.
Yeah, you could also probably target other like the business students that need to do a little bit of logic for analytics or something for their finances, or even like art students. Like some of the coolest shit is looking at the insane amount of Deadmau5 concerts or whatever, just have like crazy awesome LED walls and stuff. But you can't go to any concert. We went to Post Malone a month or two ago or whatever. Some of the stuff was awesome because it was like actually screens, but the stuff that was displayed on there, like he'd play one of his country songs and it looks like an old beat up stop sign or something. And from a distance, you're a long ways away from that. From a distance, it looks like an actual sign, and they've designed it to look like the lighting has reflected properly off of it. So like it doesn't stand out as weird or anything. And then like everything goes dark and he starts his next track and it's like, wait, what happened to the stop sign? Like nobody went up and climbed that pole to replace that. And then you realize that was all a screen. Like they've done all this work to like program these things. That would be a freaking cool job, playing with, I don't know, Raspberry Pis or Arduinos, bunch of networking stuff and timing and all kinds of awesome stuff that's programming professionally that nobody actually like we're stuck in just thinking about like, yeah, I'm going to write code for a website.
I'm going to make
every
a form.
Device. Yeah. Every device needs that kind of stuff. And like all these other things are out there as a career too. But yeah, there's probably a lot fewer jobs for that kind of work. They need awesome people, like really strong programmers to do that. You can't just jump in and not know. I mean, even for like WLED, like building an algorithm to generate an animation and all that, like you got to know your math. You got to know your such and such. So right before I hopped on, looks like, do you guys use a pagination gem?
Yeah,
choice?
Pagey. I think we still have some Kaminari for like, but we've mostly switched to infinite pagination. But so some of the old views who have like button pagination might still use Kaminari, but
nice. Yeah, I think absolutely everything of mine is on Pagey, and it was originally going to be version 10, but now it's version 43. So it's jumping from Pagey version 9 to 43. Not to scare you, but
that sounds like what's 43 minus 9? You know, 37 breaking changes.
Yeah, that would be funny.
Hell no.
Demizio emailed me this morning and was like, got a release candidate ready. So I grabbed Madman and was updating it. For a gem like Madman, it's a little trickier because I'd like to support Pagey 9. Madman supports, I think, Pagey 3.5 or something all the way up to 9. There wasn't a lot of breaking changes there, and we're using just the most basic examples. But some of the things that have been updated are like you no longer have to include the Pagey front end module in your helpers, which is really nice. So when you set the Pagey instance variable, you can call like series nav on it and have that output the HTML. So it's just a instance variable that knows how to render the HTML. And that's pretty nice. Like it simplifies quite a bit. So yeah, it seems really good. He went through, I think, absolutely every bit of code and was like, I'm going to clean all this up and reorganize it. I'm going to fix all these things. Because little stuff that wasn't super clear to me that I'd kind of hacked together was like, if you have the pagey variable, you could ask .pages and it would tell you how many pages are in the results, which apparently he said it was just an alias for the last method. And I was like, okay. Last, to me, I never used and didn't even look at it or consider it as an option for that because I wanted to like hide the pagination if there's only one page of results.
Right.
Like, so I was looking if the number of pages was more than one. And so I guess last was the actual method that was for that. And now it's been changed. It's interesting. Like, that makes sense, I guess, to call it last. It also kind of feels like that would call and return the last page or something, you know?
I would
like the
well, if it's is a predicate?
No.
Oh, okay, interesting.
It just returns an integer of like the last page number or whatever. And so it's a tricky thing to keep short name wise and also like convey or whatever. And it's like, I probably just didn't read the documentation completely because I've made this upgrade. Basically, that was one of the questions I asked him, but I made the upgrade like not reading the upgrade guide at all, just barely looking at it because I have such little customization in there.
Right.
But yeah, I think if you use it a little heavier than I do, it's worth reading through the upgrade guide and whatnot. But it seems like for a user, we just include pagey. Backend is now pagey method, which will add the pagey method to your controllers or whatever.
Okay.
So it's pretty much the same in Jumpstart, and everything else will just make the upgrade whenever release candidate is finalized. Probably I'll probably make a PR where it's the release candidate, but wait to merge that until it's finished. But just a heads up on that, because that'll do a little bit of work, but you can just add an issue, assign it to somebody else, and then go on sabbatical.
Yep. We only use it for infinite pagination, so I don't have a ton of customization there, so I think it'll be fine.
You know what? So what he's got now is a clearer kind of thing. So like the pagey method in your controller, the first argument can now be the like paginator that you want to use. So you can use offset or countless or key set as well.
Instead of pagey countless.
Yeah, so it's all kind of like built in nicely. Cause yeah, that's was it key set? Key set's the fastest paginator, but you can't like do a previous page, which for your situation with load more would be perfect. So this will be even faster. It like saves a SQL query or whatever too. And it's fast no matter how big your table is. It's cool. And this is the stuff where I'm like, pagination sounds so simple, but I'm willing to grab a gem to do this. Because yes, you can read about how to do an offset and like go build that yourself in about 5 minutes, but like you don't realize the trade-offs for that. Like you just build the simple version of it. But when you have like a billion rows and you're paginating all those, yeah, it helps to know that there are other options and whatnot. So it's cool. So there's a whole bunch of these. The calendar one, Elasticsearch Rails, Melee Search, Search Kick. Need to get a TypeSense one in there. But yeah, I think he's done a good job refactoring all this and making it simpler to use, especially the stuff where like you can render previous and next tags. Next tag works with all paginators, but previous tag works with everything except for key set. Okay, you get the fastest pagination and you don't need that feature. So voila, you're off to the races. And if you ever do want to add previous thing, you can switch the paginator out and boom, you're done. So yeah, seems like a really great upgrade. So I'm excited to try that out. One of the optimizations, I think it was for locales or something that Beirut pushed to Rails the other day. It's been doing some good performance upgrades or whatever, but it was similar to what I just did, where it's like you check something. Maybe it was this refactor uncountables or something. But yeah, one of the PRs he made the other day was just dynamically define these different methods in order to make it efficient. Same kind of concept here. It was like in Mad Men, I check to see which version of Pagey you're on. And if you're like on 43 and up, then I'll define one version of this paginate method. And we call paginate regardless, but the internals of that is going to change a little bit depending on the Pagey version that you're using. And yeah, Byru did something with that the other day to do a pretty good improvement to Rails. And it was just kind of like defining a different method or whatever. Can't find it though. Sure it's in there somewhere.
I thought you were looking for something. Were you waiting on me to say something?
No, I was looking for that thing. I can't find it.
When you looked back at me, I was like, shit, did I like miss something?
Yeah, you good. That's all I got this week.
Yeah.
I got to keep working on my Rails World Talk, which has evolved into making a joke that turns into like half my talk is like taking a joke too far, which I'm very excited about.
I'm so excited. It's going to be great.
It'll be good. So got to finish that up. And then did you get your flight that you hadn't done yet?
Let's say yes.
So you did not.
That's on my list today or tomorrow. Like it's going to be done. Like tomorrow's my chore day
for you and send you an invoice.
Dude, I mean, I'm not going to complain. The problem was I hadn't really like figured out my entire plan yet for like how long I'm going to be there. And I just been stressed out and busy. So now I will have time. So literally tomorrow is my day that I'm going to do all the things I've been putting off.
4.5 hours and you don't have to work anymore. So
exactly, dude. Then my brain can open up to all the problems I've been forgetting about. And so the problems I got.
And then you could spend your whole sabbatical just stressing about these things that you've been pushing off.
Yeah. Gotta clean up my house. I gotta do stuff. I gotta get a haircut. I need to take my car to the shop.
Yep.
And then I'm just gonna hit the road.
There's like a recall for my truck. And then I gotta take the other car in because the tags are about to expire. And I know these problems. And it's like, we just were at the doctor. Baby's 33 weeks, I think, for almost 5 pounds. And like, oh God, I got a lot to do before he gets here. And then I'm taking my sabbatical.
There you go.
But I do not want to end up being like, I have all these errands to do and whatever. Like, I don't want to do any of that. Just want to chill out.
Yeah. I need to stay busy or I won't do anything. So I'll feel good when I complete the task. So it'll be good.
Yeah. It always feels good. It just is the starting the task is the hardest thing.
Yeah. Oh, dude, you don't need to tell me about that. I know all about that life.
Well, are we going to record next week while you're on sabbatical?
Yeah, because we have a guest, right?
I don't know. We'll have to look. I don't think it adds it to my calendar if somebody books on yours.
Oh, I should have forwarded it to you.
Cool.
All right.
Sounds good. I will talk to you then.
Peace.